I finished the last video using a stream pipeline to get counts for 3 different age segments in my student data. The counts didn't seem like they were evenly distributed. To understand why, I can use the summary statistics terminal operations to give me more information. Let's use the enrolment age first to figure out what age statistics I can get. I'll set up a variable age stream, assigning it first arrays .stream with our students. I'm going to map this whole stream to an int stream. Hopefully you'll remember I can only use summary statistics on an int stream, double stream or long stream. Because my enrolment age returns an int, I'll use int stream. I need to pass that a lambda that returns an int, and my input parameter is a student because I'm streaming students. I'll use student : get age enrolled, and I'll print what I get back from calling the summary statistics terminal operation. Let's run the code to see what we get. I get statistics about my student population with the minimum enrolment age of 18 and the maximum being 89 and the average in the low 50s. I'll copy and paste those 3 lines of code. I'll change the variable name to current age stream. I can simply change my method reference to get age here. And I'll change the text in my output to show stats for current age and change the stream from age stream to current age stream. Running that. As you can see, the student population has grown older, an average of 4 or 5 years older, since the earliest enrolment started in 2015. This terminal operation is one of my favourites and is a good way to start examining a dataset. Okay, I still have 4 more questions to answer. The next one is, what countries are my students from? This one isn't really about a new terminal operation. I'll just use for each to do this, and I'll do it all in a single statement. I'll again stream my array of students. I can use map to get a stream of strings for just the country codes. I'll call distinct on the countries and print them out. Running that code. I get the 7 country codes I used to set up a random country for the student. Let's sort this. There are different ways to sort, but I'll use the sorted intermediate operation after distinct. Running that. I get a sorted list of country codes. It might be nice to know student counts by country at this point, and you could do that like I did with age and gender, but hold off on that for now. This will be a new terminal operation I'll introduce you to in a bit. The next question in the challenge is, are there any students that are still active and that have been enrolled for more than 7 years? This is a little more complex. Did you figure it out? First, you've got to decide what recent activity means. I'll just say a student is active if they've had some activity in the last 12 months, meaning the get month since active is less than or equal to 12. I'll start with getting a stream from the array. I'll call AnyMatch and pass it a multi-conditional statement. First, I'll check that the age minus the getAge enrolled is greater than or equal to 7 years, meaning has 7 years elapsed since this student enrolled. Next, I want to use the get months since active on student and see if it's less than 12. This is how I can check if a student had any course engagement in the past year, and finally print the result of that. Running that code. I can confirm that I do have students that meet these criteria. You can see the AnyMatch operation doesn't give you a whole lot of information. Sometimes, though, you really do just want to ask your data a simple true or false question. Let's see how many long-term students there really are using the count terminal operation. First, I'll copy lines 70 through 73 and paste a copy on line 75. I'll change my variable to a long from a boolean and call it long-term count. I'll change AnyMatch to filter and I'll insert a new line before that semicolon. I'll add the terminal operation .count before that semicolon. Finally, I'll change the output to print long-term count and not the long-term boolean value. Running that code gave me the number of long-term students, which could be useful info. Now let's change this to get just 5 of these students. First, I'll copy lines 75 through 78 and paste that right below. I'll first remove the declaration and assignment, so I'll remove long-term count equals. I'll change count to a for each and pass the method reference for a println call. Now just for fun, I'll add another filter on students who haven't had any previous programming experience. This wasn't part of the challenge, but I want you to see there's no limit to the way you can work with these operations. I can use the has programming experience method on student negating that meaning I don't want experienced students for this selection. I'll limit this to 5 students. I could have combined my filters, but having serial filters, which is where multiple filter statements are added as I have done here, works the same as one conditional statement using the AND operator. The pipeline processing will determine the most efficient way to execute the filters, and I can just list them in the most readable way. I hope you can see there's a lot of ways to slice and dice the data when you use streams to get answers about your data. Again, this is very similar to structured query language, which is why we can talk about Java streams as a data processing construct. Okay, so I hope you had some fun with this. In the next video, I'll be talking about how to get data out of the stream and into other types. You've had a little taste of this with operations that returned a numeric value or a Boolean, but you're not limited to just returning simple types. There's a lot more we can do, so I'll see you in the next video.